The festival itself started just over 60 years ago in 1954. However, the TESSELAAR family business started well over 70 years. Way back in 1939, my grandparents emigrated from the Netherlands. What we discovered is that people would come 3 times in their lifetime. Once as a child with their parents and their grandparents, then once as the parent with their children, and then once as a grandparent with their children and their grandchildren. We needed to add more activities so that it was more interesting for people to come back more often. We now have 4 themed weekends, which include the Turkish weekend, where a lot of people don't realise that the tulip actually originated in Turkey and Asia Minor along latitude 40. So we celebrate the start of the tulip festival with our own Turkish weekend. Visitors will be able to experience Turkish folk dancing, Turkish belly dancing, Turkish music, Turkish food. It's a whole celebration of everything Turkish. We have a Dutch weekend where we celebrate our Dutch heritage, and obviously the tulip and the Dutch have a strong relationship as well. On that themed weekend we have 2 Dutch bands. There's Dutch folk dancing, wearing clogs. People will be able to enjoy delicious Dutch foods, including croquettes and poffertjes. That's the little pancakes with icing sugar. Lots of people in traditional Dutch costumes, and loads more. Then we celebrate with a food, wine and jazz weekend, and that's about celebrating our region. We're in the Yarra Valley, the Dandenong Ranges, lots of good food and wine, so we celebrate that. Then during the weekdays we have a seniors week where it's a bit of a slower pace. The music's more appropriate for seniors and people that want to have a little bit less of the hustle and bustle and smaller crowds. Then we have a kids week, 2 kids weeks during the school holidays where there's lots of activities geared towards the kids. So kids get in free and then there's lots of activities for them to enjoy whilst they're here. They can run through the tulips, they can go and find the fairy moniker in our fairy hollow, they can find the 10 hidden gnomes that have escaped from Gnomeville, so they're spread around the garden. So there's lots of activities for kids. Then we celebrate an Irish weekend. Now that's an interesting one. My mother is part Irish, so there's a bit of an Irish connection there. The Irish love to have a good festival and get up and dance and have a good time. And once the festival finishes, we actually go through and chop all the heads off the tulips. So all that we're left with is a green field. So we call that the greening of the tulips. So the last weekend of the festival, it's about celebrating the greening of the tulips. So green being Irish. Visitors can even come and pick their own tulips, believe it or not. We've set aside a special area where they can pick their own tulips and take home their own bunch. We'd be expecting over 50,000 people to come and join us tiptoeing through the tulips. The majority of people come from around Melbourne and suburbs, but we do get a large proportion from interstate and even international. People who, when they come here and visit me, they say, we've come from Singapore or Japan or what have you. It's fantastic to see so many people around the world. The most important thing that people come to do here is to be able to come and tiptoe through the tulips and experience the fields of bright colours. So I appreciate what that importance is, and that's the main thing that I want to continue with, is to ensure that we've always got fields of tulips for people to come and experience.